She ignored my calls all day. When she finally walked in, she wore a smirk. It was 10 p.m. when she came through the door. Her heels clicked across the tiles, sharp, careless sounds that rang in the quiet. She didn't meet my eyes. Instead, she looked past me, and that smirk curled her lips into something cold and cruel. "I had a one-night stand," she said, "and I'd do it again." Her words shattered the room like glass. The silence that followed felt heavier than confession itself. I didn't yell. I didn't ask questions. I didn't even set my fork down. I took another bite, swallowed, and gave a single nod. She took that nod for surrender. What she didn't see was that it marked the start of my retaliation. 7 years of marriage, shared routines, whispered plans, late-night laughter. I believed our unspoken vow was loyalty. Through money problems, family fights, and her insecurities, I held steady, convinced I was her anchor. Instead, I'd been the floor she walked over. The signs had been there all along. More distance, later nights out, a phone face down when it buzzed. I refused to look. I'd invested in the illusion we built. Her smirk tore that illusion to pieces. Pain hit first, then clarity. I didn't confront her with anger. Words don't win wars. Preparation does. The next morning she stretched in bed and asked for coffee. I stood in the doorway watching. She still thought I was the same patient, pliable husband, easy to manipulate. Behind my calm, plans were already forming. Quietly, I began to secure everything. Passwords, accounts, legal documents, piece by piece. When she slept, I searched her phone. Names, numbers, photos. Everything I found I encrypted and hid. For 2 weeks, I played the role she expected. I cooked dinners. I smiled. I kissed her cheek. She convinced herself the storm had passed, unaware I was shifting the very ground beneath her feet. I met with a lawyer, moved assets, and closed accounts she assumed were shared but weren't. The house, the savings, the titles. One by one, they were drawn into my name. Her freedom had made her blind. Then I set the trap. An old IT friend helped recover deleted data from her phone. What turned up was filth. Messages, photos, timestamps, names and nights that revealed the whole truth. Lies piled on lies. I printed everything, not for her, but for the court. One Friday, she dressed up and said she was meeting a friend. I let her go. A few hours later, I followed. I found her at a bar, laughing, her hand tracing another man's arm the way she used to trace mine. I took photos, proof she couldn't erase. When she stumbled home after midnight, soaked in perfume and whiskey, I was waiting at the dining table. Papers were spread out like cards in a magician's final trick. She frowned. "What's all this?" she asked. "Your legacy," I said. She flipped through the pages and drained of color. She tried to spin excuses, to twist the story, but I wouldn't let her speak. I knew every name, every night, every word. I told her I could destroy her with what I had. Her voice broke. "Why are you doing this?" she whispered. "Because you smirked," I answered. The next week she woke expecting her usual life. Coffee, routines, the pliable husband who'd bent to her moods. Instead, she found silence. Her drawers were bare, her car repossessed, credit cards canceled, bank account frozen. She walked out with only the clothes on her back and the echo of her own arrogance. I filed for divorce with evidence no lawyer could dispute. Adultery documented, finances exposed. She didn't just lose me, she lost everything. When she tried to fight back, her own messages sealed her fate. Judges don't pity serial betrayers. The house stayed with me. The savings remained mine. She left stripped of everything but shame. The final act happened at her sister's birthday. She showed up desperate, playing the victim, but whispers spread fast. I stayed calm as she twisted the story. Then I laid out the evidence for everyone to see. Screenshots, photos, dates, names. The room fell silent. Her sister cried. Her father walked out. She sank into a chair, sobbing, not from guilt but from exposure. That moment ended it. She no longer had control. I did. Do I regret it? No. Regret belongs to those who still love. I stopped loving her the moment she smirked and said she'd do it again. Now I make my own coffee every morning and drink it slowly, in silence. No expectations. No lies. She thought her betrayal would break me. Instead, it taught me how to burn quietly and deliberately until the flames consumed her world, not mine. I don't hate her. I don't feel anything. And that, more than anything, is my revenge